legacy that's long. That's the legend of the Armstrong.
If it seems we're getting cranky, have more zits than usual, and are laughing at innuendos more than ever, it's because we've hit our teenager episodes. That's right, this is episode 14 of Oh You Didn't Know, and I'll do what I want, so your ass better call somebody. I'm a cat's named Ryan, he's a dog named Brian, and we're bringing the podcast heat. Dog, it's getting hot in here. What are you doing right
I was
there?
popping some zits.
That's fine.
I got a bunch of zits, and so I was popping them.
Are you a fan of the zit popping? Is that something that you like?
Actually, it's the guilty pleasure. I have two of them. I like watching the zits popped, and I like watching ingrown toenails removed.
So on TLC, you got both of those shows. So like,
my feet are killing me, and
that's it. So Dr. Pimple Popper, the originator of that gross stuff that's fun and great to watch. When the My Feet Are Killing Me came out, oh my god!
Yeah, it took it to another level. Like, what a sick society we are, and I love every minute of it.
My college roommate became a podiatrist.
Is that right?
Yeah, Judson Thayer.
In Portland.
So that was in Colorado Springs for him. But
I don't know what
feel
a
like
podiatrist is.
It's the foot doctor.
Oh, I thought it was something else.
No, that's the guy. That's the doctor on those shows. That show's also weird because the doctor looks different in two. Like when he's treating, he looks normal, but then when he does his interviews, he's so suaved up and trying to be super stud.
He's a good-looking dude. What are you gonna say?
All right, support for this show is growing, and once again, we've got some new sponsors on board this week, and we appreciate
sponsors.
Yeah, man, we appreciate their support. And we'd also appreciate you supporting them too, and we've put together some great offers to make that a little easier for all of you. You've heard both Dog and I sing the praises of chillisleep.com/dog. You've been entertained by the boner boings of BlueChew.com, promo code dog. You've protected your family with Goliath Life. You've saved with Conrad. And today we're going to help you get a great deal on a RECTEQ wood pellet grill to protect your car with CarShield and scratch your wrestling itch with Ultimate Wrestling Trivia. No, we're good, man. It's a lot of business to handle, but let's get into the real business of the podcast, and that's your career, dog. Where's my camera? I'm pointing in the wrong spot.
My career?
Your career, dog.
Are we not done talking about it yet?
I mean, I think we're going to go for another 52 more weeks or so. Okay. And today, we're going to talk
granular, as Jeff would say. Go ahead.
We're going to get granular into the Generation X and the feud with the Nation. 1998, height of the Attitude Era.
Nation of Domination. They're my favorite.
So going back to the footage, man, my mind is blurred on the timeline because I really don't remember the Nation not coming out to that music. I don't remember when it transitioned to rock, but all of the clips we're watching is just them coming out to the rock after they got rid of Farouk and Clarence Mason and that. So as I say that, before we get into the stuff of your feud, let's talk the original Nation, the militant group that Farouk originally put together. What do you think of that gimmick? Because it was intense.
It was intense. And look, I loved it because of that. I loved it because it was intense. And I do think that it represented some members of society. You know what I mean? I think, obviously, it was fine with me. Obviously, somebody said we need a revamp here. And I think, Rocky Maivia at the time was the guy for the job. You know what I mean? He was up and coming. He was young. He was hip. He was good looking. He just felt like he fit. And so could we just be cool rather than militant? And I think they were definitely a contrast for us because we were trying to be cool too. They were cool in a different way with, like you mentioned, suave and swagger. So they were cool too. We were bound to butt heads, and we're going to talk about what happened when we did.
Well, yeah, it's funny because both DX and the Nation, once DX was revamped in late March and early April, and them, you guys are both heel stables, but you're doing things a little bit different. Did you think there was space for both at the time, or was it obvious that one had to switch and become the babyface group?
Well, look, I don't know that it was obvious that one had to switch and become a babyface group, but I think it's always easier to give the viewer a person to cheer for and a person to boo. You know what I mean? An antagonist and a protagonist. So I think it was inevitable that one of us was going to get cheered and one of us was going to get booed. And in all actuality, I don't think we knew which it was going to be until we kind of got into it a little bit.
Which role were you hoping for? Do you prefer? Did you want to be the heel in that situation, or you want the praise?
No, I wanted to be the heel. Being a heel is so much easier and so much fun and rewarding, and I don't know. It's so much easier for me to be a heel.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to make people like you,
especially if you're not likable. You know what I mean? Maybe I am.
But even in the world of wrestling, likable, good-hearted, positive people, especially in the modern era, and starting with the Attitude Era moving this way, became bad guys by default because they were too clean cut, too good.
Heel. The white meat babyface became the heel, and Stone Cold became the babyface. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was, and I think that was, like I said, bigger than wrestling. I think it was a societal changes. And look, who wouldn't love to kick their boss in the scruples and then stun them and, you know what I mean, shoot them birds and drink beer.
One of the first appearances of you all as a group is the Raw taping on March 31st that aired on April 6th. We're 1 week removed from X-Pac and the Outlaws joining DX. Owen Hart is taking on The Rock for the Intercontinental title, and Owen, still feuding with Hunter coming out of WrestleMania, is poised to win the match when Chyna interferes and costs him the match. Mm-hmm. Chyna walks off, passes all of DX at the top of the entrance ramp. Was there a whole lot more that could have been done with Chyna at that time? Did she need a revamp and repackage?
So I don't think so. Look, this was very young in all of our careers, I guess you would say, but especially as a faction together. We were very young. Once Chyna started actually wrestling and doing more, I feel like some of the bloom fell off the rose a little bit, because we did build her like a monster where she hit you, you sold, you went down. And again, once she had to start becoming a character, then you have to get to know her a little better. And if she's going to be a heel or a babyface, I need to know if she's vulnerable in any way. Is she, you know what I mean? So I don't think there was more that could have been done with her at this point. Now, let's
talk about wrestlers selling for her in that sense and treating her like a monster. Do you remember any times where people were resistant to put her over in that role?
No, and I really don't.
Everyone had that utmost respect.
Yeah, they may have said it behind our backs, but they didn't say it. And I'm not saying that to be a tough guy. I'm just saying they may not have said it to us. But I never heard that. I worked with her. I think on a pay-per-view, actually. I had no problem selling for her. She was very believable. She had bigger muscles than I did. That's not even funny. You know, I'm not even kidding there. So I had no problem at all selling for her. And again, I don't think anybody else did either.
Owen turns heel to join the Nation. Did you know at this point the plan was for you guys to move into the babyface role in faction?
Not really. And look, I wasn't paying very close attention, to be quite honest with you. I was just having a blast and chasing, finally chased my dream until I had it in my grasp. Yeah. And so really just having a good time. I felt that we were going to start taking the babyface role just because of different responses from crowds in different scenarios. Like I ducked the Rocks, and we'll watch that here in a second. I duck, they're cheering Rocky, and then I do something to Rocky and they cheer me, and then Billy does something to Rocky and they cheer him. And so I think it was interesting to hear the different reactions and then figure out, oh wait, they're gonna choose us as the baby faces. And like I said earlier, we had no idea that was gonna happen,
Generation X and the Nation, two factions gaining traction. But before we get into the rivalry, let's take a minute to hear from one of our latest sponsors, Athletic Greens. And they encourage you to own your health and own your day. The name says athletic, but the product is really for everyone. Foundational nutrition that includes 75 vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens in one convenient daily serving. Our next partner has a product that I started to use each day. I mean, I got this package last week, and I started taking AG1 because I've always had some digestion issues. And eating a plant-based diet, there's also some vitamins and minerals I need to supplement into my diet to ensure proper nutrition. But every time I buy vitamins, I use them for a few days and just stop taking them because I hate taking the pills every single day. It's just never been my thing. So putting a scoop in some water makes this easy and convenient. So like I said, I've been on Athletic Greens for just about a week now, and I'm loving it because it doesn't taste like it's super healthy, and it has kind of a mild, I'd say tropical taste, maybe a little banana, maybe a little bit of citrus, kind of pineapple or something in there that I've been looking forward to each morning. So what is this stuff? With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced ingredients, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. It helps all the things. I've been taking my AG1 in the morning, and I've noticed an increase in my energy levels. And that's hard to say and notice because I'm pretty high energy as it is. Not to mention, here's the interesting one. We get personal on this show as I read these things. I've had some BQP, man. Do you know what that is, dog?
I do not.
Better quality poops, man.
Okay, all right.
It's
Good.
easy to take with me when I travel. It's become part of my daily routine to help me not only feel, but also be more healthy. And it's also lifestyle friendly. Whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free, this works for you. So even though the name says athletic, it's really for everyone. And you just got it and started taking it too, right, dog?
I just got it, literally just got it. I've drank it one time. I do taste the banana that you mentioned. And I'm looking forward to it. Look, who doesn't want BQPs?
Absolutely. Smooth and easy. AG1 contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything, all while still tasting good. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 five-star reviews and is recommended by professional athletes and trusted by leading health experts such as Tim Ferriss and Michael Gervais. At less than $3 a day, you're investing in your health, and it's cheaper than your cold brew habit. Plus, for every purchase, Athletic Greens donates to organizations helping to get nutritious food to kids in need, including No Kid Hungry here in the U.S. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/dog. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/dog to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Yeah. I mean,
you got to own your health, man, and that's what they're talking about. Look, those probiotics are talking about gut health. Like that's what it's all about. And as the older I get, those BQ, whatever they were called.
I went with the BQP.
Yeah, I love it. I love that, by the way.
And then usually when walking my dog, we talk GQP. It's just like the good quality poops.
Yeah. And so, look, if that stuff will help me, I'll dang sure drink it.
All right, well, we're back into the midst of this show. Oh, you didn't know, and we're here with the
was
Road
not
Dog.
aware. Oh, you're talking about the name of the show.
The name of the show. I'm sweating today. It is hot, man. We talked about it, bringing the podcast heat. Let's get into the business. And we're talking the DX Nation feud of 98. All right. DX does an interview. We're talking the Feud, May 11th, 98 edition of Raw from Baltimore, Maryland. DX does an interview, but Owen Hart came out and challenged Triple H, and he brought the Nation with him. They had a match that goes down as average at best. I'm getting the quotes. You can know where these are from.
Yeah, I know
average
exactly
at best, ending when when Owen bit Hunter's ear.
Whoa.
Helmsley bladed the ear, and everyone ran in for the no contest. Prior to the bout, Owen interrupted Triple H, said they had unfinished business. After the bout, Sergeant Slaughter, multiple referees come out to prevent a brawl between DX and the Nation. This is where things are picking up. This is where it's getting excited. Were you worried about turning babyface in this situation?
No. Like we spoke about a little earlier, I think somebody had to be. We just didn't know who that was going to be. And I don't think either one of us minded who it was going to be. It just ended up being DX, you know what I mean?
Did you think the Nation was the right group of people to work against to make sure that you guys were going to get over in that role?
Look, they were another heel faction. They were the other 4-man, 5-man group, you know what I mean? So we kind of had to butt heads, like I said. Look, I don't know why they chose DX. I don't understand why they kind of got chosen. But watching the promo, like DX was already on a roll, and they just gave the Nation a facelift, like we talked about, where we got rid of Farouk and the Millitant kind of vibe and got into this new Rocky Maivia shirt opened, you know what I mean? Silk shirt from Miami. So it was a different vibe. So I think maybe we were a hair more established. I don't even know if that makes sense, but maybe DX was 2 weeks more established than they were, and so they had already gotten into our catchphrases, and maybe we had a foot in that babyface door and didn't realize it, you know.
All right, so the following week's Raw is in Nashville. And this note, once again, comes from the observance of our favorite Dirt Dweeb, Dave. DX came out, and their catchphrases were so over, the fans were repeating them. Nice compliment.
Thank you, Dave.
Unfortunately, then they had to wrestle, and the crowd wasn't as interested.
He's right about that.
Outlaws beat Owen Hart and Rocky Maivia to keep the tag belts in 4 minutes, 45 seconds when Farouk used a pile driver on Maivia and Road Dogg pinned him. Owen hits Road Dogg in the ear, and he juiced his ear. Decent match. Do you remember this one?
So I don't remember. I mean, I saw the footage, and so I remember it then, but I didn't remember it. And my ear got hard-weighed. Like I know he said Hunter bladed his ear. I don't know if that's true or not, to be quite honest with you.
Gotcha. So you think could have been?
It could have been. Mine was.
So Owen was biting a lot. So I don't know if that's.
Yes. And if we watch this clip here in a moment that we're going to show, Owen literally hits me with an elbow, but he hits me like I'm laying the wrong way. If that makes any sense. Rocky slams me, and then he points to Owen to go up and drop an elbow, and he kind of drops a right elbow instead of a left one, because I was in a different position, and his body literally just ripped my ear away from my head, so it started bleeding real bad, and then Owen started biting it, and like you get some good shot of Owen with my blood all over his face. It's disgusting. But I thought, wow, that looks really cool.
Let's listen to your promo and then watch/talk about this match a little bit.
Okay.
You know they're going to retain the title.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, D-Generation X proudly brings to you its World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions of the World, the Road Dogg Jesse James, the Badass Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws.
You're pretty amped up on that one.
So they knew the thing.
A little conversation for that nation. Rupp and Cannibal Lecter, you flesh-eating freak. If you think
that was Owen,
that we're going to let you stroll or pimp down that ramp into the squared circle and take the red-hot tag titles off of the Chizamps and make them ice cold, well then, in the immortal words,
this was supposed to be of Judas Priest.
You got another thing coming.
This is great.
Law around here is DX law, and he who breaks the law goes back to the house of pain. I don't think they got that. The Moreau thing went right over their head.
Right. Hey, Rocky, remember this.
Yeah, with Dr.
You
Moreau.
mess with us.
Brandon.
It's not know your role. It's shut your hole.
Oh,
You smell what The Rock is cooking?
oh, here they come. So that was just us cutting a little promo, or me cutting a promo, I guess.
Well.
And then we're interrupted by the new Nation with the Nugget, Owen Hart.
The Nugget. Enough is enough, and it's time
It's
for
time for a change.
Woo! I mean, the Nation just looks cool, man. They had presence, swagger,
They're
style.
very cool. Rock and Papa Shango and D'Lo were always dressed well. Yeah, they were cool. No two ways about it. But look, so we were about to have the match. We just start fighting all around the ringside area. And most of it looks really phony baloney too, by the way. A couple of them, there's probably a couple of stiff shots out right here, by the way, these kicks.
Owen was just waiting for Billy to clothesline him.
So we fight for like 3 minutes like this, and then we just go to break, and we come back and we're in a match. You know what I mean? So this was the Attitude Era. And while people cherish it, like when you watch back, it was like, man, it was kind of chaos. Like, what was going on? Who's zooming who here?
But that chaos was what we liked. I mean, it was unexpected atmosphere that anything
100%.
could happen.
And it was Jerry Springer. You know what I mean? It was a fight would, some people were going to be talking, and a fight would definitely break out. Yeah,
you almost thought Hunter was going to go punch the referee at that point.
Yeah,
the way he charged.
Instead, he really knocked Owen almost out. It's funny to watch stuff like this, and you can see things like, "Oh, they got him there," or "Oh my God, he didn't even touch him."
And then seeing Slaughter out there trying to maintain
they're trying
control,
to maintain it.
Bringing all the officials out, adding more drama to everything.
DX takes the high ground and takes the ring, and we come back. We go to commercial break, and we come back with the match in progress. Myself in the ring with The Rock, and I believe I don't know if I beat Rock in this match, but I beat him a couple of times. So I want that on the record.
It's on the record. It's been said. It's there. It's in the books. Was this a big deal for you to be in this match, Outlaws with The Rock and Owen?
So look, it was for sure 100%. It was a big deal to be.
You're like, I was a bigger deal than him at this point.
Look at me and him. We're going. We kind of went a little bit.
You had some ups right there.
Yeah. Good spot, a drop down, leapfrog. Oh, kick to the scruples. Had I not been well shaven, manscaped, that could have hurt a lot worse. I don't know. I just threw that in there. Now Rock picks me up and slams me. I was just laying right there, by the way. I was literally laying in that exact same position. For some reason, he picked me up, threw me back down. There I was again. And
drops the most electrifying move in sports entertainment.
That'll get you right in the heart. That people's elbow. 2.5 count.
And you're saying that with seriousness too, like that lays in on like some weight comes down.
Oh yeah. No, stuff hurts.
No, because I think people think comically that move wouldn't be a move that hurts. That's like considered one of the outrageous, phony baloney wrestling moves.
Yeah. But look, it is.
But he's a big dude coming down with some momentum.
Yeah, it's still a big dude running and dropping on you. And so that's not normal behavior for the human body. But yeah, Owen now is going to town on me. But look how you can just, back in the day, you could just poke him in the eye and just tag
but you're the baby face. Look at you.
Yeah.
Old tactics. Can't get him out of you.
Well, it did. We weren't baby faces yet. I don't think.
You're transitioning at this point. Yeah. So, and then the aggression of Billy Gunn with big fist in the corner.
Watch how strong Billy is here. Press Owen right up above his head. Owen was great too, by the way. Look, Owen poked his eye. Owen was so good in the ring.
So, fun fact: this was actually the first time you were in the ring with The Rock.
Oh, is that right?
That's what my little notes say, man.
I don't doubt that. But I was in it a lot more with him post after this. Look at him and Billy. Like what great! They're doing a face-off right now, and both of them are such stud athletes.
Yeah, big hosses.
Yeah, it's just big dudes. You know what I mean? Both big, raw, strapping men.
Billy looks
And
the
watch how
same.
fast this spot is, man. They run, duck, back elbow,
Big
almost knock
snap.
Rocky down.
Sorry, so talking about those back elbows, man, did you see, what was it? I think it was Raw last week. Viking Raiders returned?
Yeah.
Oh, man, Hansen threw some huge back elbows that were terrifying.
Those guys are coming back with a vengeance. The Viking Raiders. And they're big dudes that can work and can go, and they're impressive as a tag team. So I don't really know what I was doing here. I just kicked him in the stomach a bunch of times.
Rock picks you up, goes for the Samoan. No, yeah, he can.
Yeah,
a little awkward on that, a little clumsy on the timing.
And then he just gets up and goes, "Go up," and you know what I mean. So it was.
Look, so now you're.
Here's the.
Yep, he's in reverse position of how he'd like.
Oh,
and now he bites the ear. Oh yeah, you got a little color.
Yeah. Look,
and
he just went to town on it. Yeah, it's crazy, but now we'll see. Oh, we'll get a shot of Owen's face. Look at that! It's just Owen with like blood all over his face. I mean,
it seems like Owen got his vampire wings or whatever they say.
Why didn't I tag Billy here? You know what I mean? Like instead of I don't know, maybe that wasn't the spot. Here we go.
I'm just thinking of puns for Owen's face. I was like, he was part of the Nation of Menstruation.
I love it.
Fighting
but it
to
was
the outside.
My ear. It was my ear. It was not. Yeah, fight on the outside.
I know, but it didn't look like
it. Away. China's up taking the ref. Jack Doan on the microphone, the referee.
And here comes Farouk.
All-man Ron Simmons comes around, kicks him in the gut with some cowboy boots. Pile driver, holy mackerel.
Nice spike and bounce by Rock right there. Sold that great.
And I'm still selling everything Rock did to me, so I just rolled over, put the arm over, uno, dos, tres. We retain the WWF at the time Tag Team Champions of the World.
Yeah, man.
Look at Ron Simmons.
Look at him in the white tank, just looking
He is
thick.
a man.
Looking thick.
Just big. So look, that was awesome. I love watching stuff back like that because I don't remember stuff, you know what I mean? And I also don't know if it was any good. And sometimes when I watch that stuff back, I go like, oh, well, that was good. Like we did good on that, you know? And so it does make me feel good and a little nostalgic, you know?
Well, we were looking at some hard-way blood flow, so speaking of blood flow and working extra stiff, that's right, this episode, it's sponsored by BlueChew. Guys, confidence can take you far in life, and it can also help in the bedroom, especially when it comes time to step up to the plate. And that's where BlueChew comes in. BlueChew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever the opportunity arises. And the process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers. And once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And the best part, it's all done online, so no visit to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy where you gotta hear that kid be like, can I get a price check on the dick pills? This guy needs the dick pills. BlueChew's tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. It's time to get off the couch and back to work. So if your tool needs an upgrade, head to BlueChew.com. So if you can benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, BlueChew can help. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try BlueChew free when you use our promo code DOG at checkout, and then you just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code DOG, to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information, and we thank BlueChew for sponsoring the podcast.
Thank you, BlueChew.
Yeah.
For more than you know.
A little later, I'm going to drop a jingle I came up with for BlueChew while driving the other day. But let's get back to the topic at hand.
Okay.
And let's discuss the members of the Nation.
Speaking of members, go ahead.
Just say what comes to that's not what comes to mind when you say these names. All right, we're on to segue. Just say what comes to mind, be it story, fun fact, weird anecdote, or whatever. The Rock, leader of the Nation.
Oh, man. Look, we've talked about my feelings towards him at this time. He had everything that I had, plus he was really good looking and in great shape. And so I was jealous of him. I don't have any stories.
Did you always find him to be a hard worker?
Yes, 100%. Like, and especially when I look back and I go like, it was just me. It was just me being jealous. It was me having an ego and having that ego hurt by him because he looked better than me, and he could do everything I could do. He could cut a good promo. He could work. So I don't know. I regret that that's how our relationship was. You know what I mean? I do regret that. I have looked him in the eye and stood and shook his hand and apologized and cleaned up my side of the street as far as that goes. And so I feel like I'm in a good place with him now, but I wish I was in a better place with him back then, and it's all on me.
So tell me what you think of his movies.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you. I love his movies.
Absolutely.
I watched Jumanji or whatever like yesterday when I got back home. That was on, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a good movie. Like,
I always like the
Kevin Hart.
Tooth Fairy.
I like that. Look, I love Central Intelligence. I really love the Runaway. I think it was or something like that with
yes,
with Stifler.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever that kid's name. Yeah, like look, he's all the Hobbs and Shaw and the Fast and Furious franchise. Like,
I haven't seen those, man. To be honest. I've missed on the Fast and Furious. I'll get back to wrestling.
Well, you have to take like 7 days to watch them all because there's 111 of them. But who was the next on
Next in the faction, Owen Hart.
Can't say enough nice stuff about Owen. Owen would literally rib himself just to rib you. You know what I mean? Like we'd be driving and he'd have somebody driving us and he'd just pull the emergency brake. And
so I tend to think that when you hear so many wrestling stories of ribs that are obviously funny when they're not you, but in the situation, many of these ribs don't actually seem funny. They seem destructive, harmful, and all that. So why is it that with all the ribbing that Owen does, everyone is complimentary and has nothing but good things to say?
Because it was never, for him, it's never malicious. It's always all in fun. And you can do him the same way. You know what I mean? It's like a guy like Bradshaw, he fights hard in the ring and he wants you to fight hard against him too. It's like Owen ribs hard and he doesn't mind being ribbed. But it wasn't malicious. It was all in fun. And so also you look back on it and go, while I was in the back seat of a stranger's car going the wrong way on an interstate away from where the building is, yeah, you're going like, God darn it, Owen. But you look at it and we made it. He didn't, no harm, no foul. It was he just ruffled your feathers a little bit. You know what I mean? And he enjoyed that so much. He utilized the life on the road and the business to entertain himself. Yeah. It wasn't about, you know what I mean? It was like he just had fun the whole time, and you could get mad at him or you could just laugh, and you get mad first and then you just go, oh, man, what am I going to do?
I think fun's one of those secrets to success in the world and industry of wrestling, and you see Amen. That's why AEW has some success, because a lot of those guys are having some fun right now. Obviously, There's some other things that if they want to go to the next level, they should hopefully go to, but they're having fun, and the more that you can have fun, the more you don't let the stress and pressure of, it's not going my way, I don't like the story, I'm not getting pushed, you can let it just roll off your back and enjoy the fact that you're living an amazing job, getting to entertain people and get in that ring and do cool stuff, man.
Yeah, and look, that's perspective, right? And that's not just in wrestling, that's in life. You can be bitter about your daily travels, or you can, you know what I mean, wake up in the morning and want to smell the roses and enjoy the day. It's all about perspective. And like I said, that's not just wrestling, that's in life. So look at that cup as half full, but you're right. holy mackerel, you get paid, you're getting to chase your dream, you're on TV, you're a star, you know what I mean? Like, what's not to love?
Next one in the faction, Mustafa.
So I was always scared to death of him. I really was. I didn't know what to think, and he was always kind of quiet. Like, he didn't look. Now we have a great relationship. If we see each other, we run and hug like the hills are alive with the sound of music. But it's now we have a great relationship. At this point, I was terrified of him because I knew he was like a tough guy, and I knew he was Taker's friend, and so there was a lot of reasons to be weary of crossing him in any way. And so, yeah, I steered clear of him. Also, he smoked me under like the dashboard one time on a 90-minute trip, and so I all hail to the almighty Papa Shango /
watching his current videos with where he does his dabs and all of this and that. Like,
I don't know anything about that, but I know about what we did then, and it was crazy.
He has been in legal states and all that. Puts up some videos of taking some monster hits, and it's like, woo! Oh man, that stuff's incredible.
So, again, great guy. Charles, love him, have a great relationship with him. At this point in time, terrified.
D'Lo Brown.
D'Lo, always loved D'Lo. Loved working with D'Lo. Loved when we had tagged with him and Mark Henry. I always loved doing spots with D'Lo. D'Lo's a great athlete. D'Lo's got a good mind for the game, and me and him always got along. One time, I actually wrestled messed up on drugs, and it was the one time where it was kind of like, and it was with D'Lo and I think Chaz, the headbagger, and me and somebody else. It may have been Ron Killings. We're in a tag match, and I was so screwed up, and D'Lo came to me and said, "Man, this is not cool. You can't do that." And so I got a lot of trouble for that. But he tried to help me then. I didn't know or care at the time. I care a great deal today, of course. So, yeah, I'll always love D'Lo Brown. D'Lo.
Final member, Mark Henry.
Mark, what's not to love about Mark Henry? I mean, that's the truth. From the minute I met Mark Henry, my middle daughter was probably 2 years old. And we were backstage, and we were just walking, and here came Mark Henry walking at us. And my 2-year-old daughter ran straight at him and jumped into his arms. And he held her, and she looked back at me like, "Look, Daddy." And I said, "I can't believe that." He said, "She knows I'm good-hearted." I said, "She does, dude. She does." And he is good-hearted. One thing I want to say that he used to say, when you're feeling confident or you're cocky, his grandmother used to say, "Oh, you smelling your own piss, ain't you?" So he would say that to me all the time if I said something that he thought was out of line or out of bounds. "Oh, you smelling your own piss, ain't you?" And I thought, that's the greatest thing ever. Love Mark Henry. I loved every member of the Nation, I guess, so far.
Of the Nation, who do you think, or who do you consider to be the best worker of the group?
Well, if Owen's in there, I think it's Owen, or D'Lo. To be quite honest with you, D'Lo's very talented and very, very good in the ring. Timing, ring placement, where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there. Always right on the money with D'Lo. So it could be D'Lo, but Owen was really good,
At Over the Edge on May 31st from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, there's a long 6-man tag with DX taking on the Nation. Let's pull this one up.
All right.
We're going to watch this.
Road Dogg's made his way back up to his feet.
In the ring with Mustafa there, the man that you're a little bit
that I was afraid of. I elbowed him really gently so he wouldn't knock my head off. But here comes D'Lo in there. And look, I think some of the critique was, and maybe it was from the earlier one, was the crowd didn't like it so much. I do think it's because we were both kind of heel factions, and nobody really knew what to do. You know what I mean? As far as cheering and booing, nobody knew what to do. And so
this one had a little sloppiness when I watched back. D'Lo overshot that moonsault a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, there was some things that would make people go like, okay.
And it is what it is. I mean, he's up there. He
yeah.
has so much. So that's one of my favorite moves. That just huge jumping back senton off the ropes.
I also want to know, like, what was he going to do if I'd have stayed there? Just land on me like that?
Absolutely. Crush you.
It would have crushed me.
Break your xiphoid process.
Yes. So this is Mustafa, D'Lo, and Owen with Mark Henry on the outside against me, Billy, and Hunter.
Yep.
Ooh,
and this match goes 18 and a half minutes.
Holy mackerel. And so they got heat on me. So we took our time. And also, we're kind of both heel units. You get heat on one of those guys that you're not sure you care about. It gets boring if you stay in that heat for a while. And see, then we do the babyface thing and make a hot tag. And Billy's coming back and beating everybody up so much. He's just killing people.
Oh, huge back drop.
Oh.
He kept his hands out of it, kept him safe, but he was going up.
I don't even know where I'm at anymore. Oh, me and Owen are over there. Me and Owen are over there trying to do nothing. Like, Owen, what do you want to do?
So in the craziness of the Attitude Era and selling stories and trying to create this competitive vibe, Jim Ross on commentary tried to emphasize the youth in the WWF, and he brought up that D'Lo is in his early 20s, but he was actually like 29 at this point. And then it said that you were in your 20s and you were maybe, I think it says 32 at this point.
Yeah, at least.
The crowd starts their chanting of boring.
I think it was Doreen was what they're chanting. Doreen,
yes.
You go over the top. Now you're back in.
Or was it Jolene? Jolene.
Oh.
And then Owen comes in, drops the elbow,
and
makes the save.
It hits the pedigree on Hunter onto the tag title.
Yes.
Oh, with his own finish, and then tops him for the big victory.
Yep, big victory, big finish.
X-Pac was almost there. Oh, X-Pac was in our corner in China, too. I didn't see
when
it.
you're in a match where you do get boring chants,
yeah.
What does that do to you as a performer? Is it hard to stay focused, or you can push that out and stay on track?
No, it bothers you.
Yeah.
And if somebody says it doesn't, then I think they're not being genuine with you. Because, look, it's you out there performing, and the last thing you want to be is boring.
Yeah.
But I don't know the intricacies of this, like why we went 18 minutes on a TV match.
And
that
this was
unheard
and this was
of.
the 7th match on the pay-per-view. Austin was coming up next.
Oh, was this a pay-per-view?
Yeah, this was Over the Edge pay-per-view. So
wow.
Do you think the fans at this point just wanted to get to Austin?
Probably.
And maybe if your match was earlier in the card, it could have had a better result?
Maybe. And look, those are the things you never know. Those are the... I just spit right in the camera, and you're welcome. You don't even have to pay any extra for that. I apologize. But, yeah, so what were we talking about again? I'm sorry.
I mean, if you move the match earlier in the card.
Right. Those are the things you never know, and those are the things that are the most subjective, is like card order. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, this is a tough spot. I think they looked at it as like a semi-main spot for us.
Yeah.
I think it painted an uphill battle for us, especially at 18 minutes. Dang, you know what I mean? That's a long time. I didn't think I ever wrestled 18 minutes in my life, but I had 2 people helping me, thank God. So, yeah, I'm lost again.
No,
so
it's
good.
okay. I don't even know if I need to hit it on this one. We'll save it. We're not distracted.
Yeah.
We're through this period and up to late June. Would you classify DX as a tweener group then? Because you're making the transition at this point?
Yeah, I think so. Look, it was no doubt that they got with us when we said our thing. But for a while, and this period of time was during that while, they popped for everything we said and booed for everything we did. And so there was a time when they were still, we're kind of still heels. But this rivalry right here is the one that kind of sent it over the edge and made us the babyfaces in the long run.
Yeah, because it's interesting, because on TV it's clear you guys are faces with the reactions, but then on the house shows, the Outlaws are in the heel role against LOD 2000 most nights, or in multiple man matches, and sometimes against Austin, who's the top face in the company.
Yeah, well, and you can see, like, we I didn't change any way I worked with any of them. That's what we did as I was eye poking and gouging, and you know what I mean? So it was just, they just did some stuff behind the ref's back, but then China did some stuff behind the ref's back also. So I think we were just trying to find our way. We were all still heels, but this whole, like I said, this whole rivalry is what really sent us into the babyface direction.
Do you remember the Outlaws getting cheered more than LOD in those matches?
No, no, not at all. Because look, in reality, we were still very young in this, and they had been around and been on top of the mountain for 15 years, 20 years maybe. And so, no, there was by no mistake, make no mistake about it, they were the babyfaces, and that's why we didn't swim upstream. Even if we were going to be babyfaces working with somebody else on TV, we still play the heel role tonight, and we cheat to win and retain our titles or whatever,
Yeah, so this rivalry's picking up steam, but before we get into the next phase of it, we're going to take a quick break and hear from one of our great new sponsors, because this episode is brought to you by CarShield, who makes it easy and affordable to protect our cars from expensive repairs, and that's just for starters. CarShield is the #1 auto protection company in the U.S., and they offer protection plans for around $100 a month. The plans cover more parts than ever before, and whether your car has 5,000 miles or 150,000 miles. And man, I wish I would have had CarShield a month ago, because I just got done paying more than $2,500 in maintenance and repairs it was about 6 weeks ago. But my loss is your gain, because now we know, and we could pass on some savings to all of you. Let me tell you how simple it is to get your car fixed with CarShield, because if and when you need a repair, you choose the mechanic. That's right, you choose who you want to go to, and then CarShield's administrators handle all the rest. That's it. You don't have to deal with the paperwork or headaches. You're taken care of. And the same goes if your car breaks down and you're stuck on the side of the road, because plans through CarShield also include coast-to-coast roadside assistance. CarShield administrators are there for you with rental car options and trip reimbursement at no extra cost as well. Get coverage today, and you'll lock in your price now, and it will never go up. That means as long as you own your car, no matter how old it is, you're protected from the rising cost of parts and repairs for your vehicle. CarShield helps protect mine and Dog's wallet from expensive car repairs, and they'll do the same for you. Go to carshield.com/podcast to start your plan and lock in your pricing forever. That's carshield.com/podcast, and remember, a deductible may apply.
May apply.
A deductible.
A deductible may apply.
Yeah, man. I mean, car, you got to keep it protected, and everything's
yeah, because it's so expensive. Yeah, it's so expensive.
And I'm sick of hearing this inflation. Everything's higher because of inflation. I get it, and it is, and the COVID thing changed everything, and companies screwed up everything's scheduled. But inflation, all these major companies are making record profits.
They're making record profits.
Record profits. And yet we're getting smaller packages of food inside the box for more money.
Like less chips in the bag.
A pint of ice cream is now only 15 ounces instead of 16.
That's the truth. You know what I mean? Like it's inflation. What are you going to do?
Save with CarShield. Get yourself a plan.
Save with Conrad. You can save with Chili Sleep.
All of them.
We're saving people money here.
Yeah, we are.
I don't know if you knew that or not, Ryan.
And taking care of down where? Down there? Yeah.
Taking care of people's business.
Yeah. And giving them BQPs.
Yes. Who doesn't want a BQP?
All right, we're back on Oh You Didn't Know with the Road Dogg, and we're talking about DX and the Nation. What did you think of working with the Nation? Was it easy? Was it difficult? Did you guys just click, have chemistry? Tell me about it.
All of the above. It was awesome. And truth be told, I'll never, Hunter's told the story a million times, like, oh yeah, and then Ron would come to me. This was when Ron was with him and we were still working. Ron would come to me and say, hey, you just come over here with me and let those guys, because we were all fighting like hell, we were all young and just scrapping. So yeah, look, we had great chemistry. I loved working with those guys. We never felt like we weren't getting ours or they weren't getting theirs. We worked together as a group, and I thought we did that well. And I think that's, the reason, that's the key to the success of this feud, if you will.
The July 6th Raw, taped on June 30th in State College, Pennsylvania, is a memorable one, as it features the infamous DX parody of the Nation. We're talking Triple H is the Croc. You're B-Lo. X-Pac is Ms. Ark Henry.
Yep.
Billy is the Gunfather. Chyna is herself. And a guy named Jason Sensation is Owen Hart. Tell us a bit about Jason Sensation, who he was, and how he ended up with the gig.
So, truth be told,
you're like I don't remember. I don't know who that kid was.
No, I do. Believe you me. I remember, and he was just a fan in Canada. He was just a fan that we ended up hooking up with, me and X-Pac, and one thing led to another. But
so he supplied some party supplies.
So I don't know. Look, I don't know if he supplied or if he was. I'm not sure how that went down. But we used to.
Dog doesn't want to incriminate the man.
I don't want to incriminate him. I'll incriminate me. I got no problem doing that. I think Kid's okay with me incriminating him. But like I don't really remember how.
So he was party supply adjacent.
Yes, and we totally would call people up all night, and he would be stone cold, and we would just call people's hotel rooms, and he would just do all kind of, but he could do them, and he was entertaining, and so he stuck around for a little while, and he did Owen so well that he got written into the script. You know what I mean?
Amazing. Talking prank calls. Were you a fan of the Jerky Boys back in the day?
Yes.
What a good time. And Crank Yankers is coming back on TV as well. Always fans of the prank calls. Good stuff.
Me too. They're so funny.
All right. Who came up with all the stuff in this segment of impersonating the Nation?
So, look, I think we got together, of course, we got together with probably Russo. I don't remember exactly the writer or the writer assistant that was with us, but we all added our own 2 cents worth, and you know what I mean? And I'm just going to say this, and you say that. And so, literally, we all collaborated to come up with that stuff. Look, having said that, watching this back is uncomfortable for me, and it's because it's not right. You know what I mean? Like I was kind of concerned about this, and I thought about it a lot about showing this, and similar to the VKM days, I guess I'm embarrassed of behavior, of past behaviors, and it's my behaviors, and so it's my penance to take, should I have to take some for them, you know what I mean? And I got no problem doing that, but this, I felt uncomfortable, not at the time. I feel uncomfortable now watching it, and I know it's a cop-out to say, oh, it was a different time, but look, I don't remember any of them having an issue with it, and they would have been the ones to say,
and that was my next question. And I will say, going back in this time, I mean, I just remember it was a different time. People spoke and did things differently, and there was, it was parody at that point. All right, there's a story out there about someone shitting in Mark Henry's sandwich one time, and he may have unknowingly ate it, and that's why X-Pac talks about Mark eating shit in the segment. Tell you the way you just popped and laughed. Give me some deets.
So the story... that there is some truth to that story. I do not know who pooped in the sandwich. I do not know if Mark ate it, but I know that supposedly happened. Again, I think it's one of those things where it's
those funny ribs.
Yeah, this one's not funny. It's not funny to me. It wasn't funny to. I don't think it was funny to anybody. You know what I mean? Because it was. But there's some people ribbed hard. You know what I mean? Some people ribbed hard, but I didn't want to rib that way, and I didn't want to get ribbed that way. But yeah, there's truth to the rumor. The rumor existed. So I don't know honestly if if somebody actually did it and he actually ate it. I just know the rumor was around.
So since we're talking about poop, let me ask the hard question. If you're buried up to your neck in poop and someone's going to throw up on your head, do you duck?
No. No. I just wear the puke. I wear the puke hat, dog. That's how I roll.
All right, Peacock and
What a thought-provoking conversation piece there.
I mean, it's one you could ask your friends. It's good for the parties. It's good for an icebreaker. Think of it on your speed dating. You're sitting across from your potential new girlfriend or boyfriend.
This is the kind of stuff you need to know.
Well, all right. Peacock and WWE have actually removed the skit completely from their streaming service as it became too controversial. D-Lo in recent years talked about the segment, how at the time blackface wasn't as frowned upon now compared to then, and so it's interesting because everyone. Hey, the world has changed where you didn't feel bad then, but now when you look at it, you sit and go, "Whoa!" I
do because I didn't realize I was being insensitive. You know what I mean? And that's not an excuse, but it's ignorance is not. So
let me ask this: do you think it's also a changing times, or do you think it's just maturity of you're older, and that if you were a 25-year-older, you'd still be like,
I think
there's no repercussions.
I think it's both of those, to tell you the truth. I think I have gotten older, but the times have changed. I honestly didn't realize it was insensitive or offensive at the time. Today, I 100% realize that. I'm glad they took it off. Peacock took it off the streaming service. I can't take it back, or I'd do that too. You know what I mean?
In the storyline, the nation was pissed, particularly Owen, who the next week on Raw in East Rutherford, New Jersey, attacked Jason Sensation as he was at ringside doing more of the Owen parody. Puts him in the sharpshooter until DX makes the save.
Yep, and again, hello, microphone. How are you, microphone? Good to see you here. Hey, so, which was one more thing that painted us in the babyface light. You know what I mean? They get the heat on the kid who's not here, and then DX makes the save. So we started to book things in a way and construct them in a way where we were the babyfaces. And you can see this is a instance of that right here.
Steve, let's go to the clip.
DX coming out last week dressed as the Nation. Of course, we had some pretty good portrayals as well. We had Triple H portraying
Can we lower the volume?
And then the Road Dogg was B-Lo. The man, look at B-Lo.
That was B-Lo.
Not to mention X-Pac as
so this is the most we see of the whole thing.
And the part of the Godfather was played by badass Billy Gunn. Of course,
Billy looked like
herself. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that young Jason Sensation stole the show in his portrayal of Owen Hart.
In his caution tape.
It's enough, and it's time for a change.
He sounds exactly like
Nobody listens to me. Nobody gives a damn what I think. What the hell am I doing wearing this ridiculous outfit? I look like a damn road sign. What the hell am I? School grunting? You know, I tried to be a tough guy, but I just couldn't grow my damn beard in.
This kid is a fan from off the streets, and this is a promo in the middle of 20,000 people. You know what I mean? Live television. And he nailed it.
How did you come in contact with them? So obviously we talked about you guys hanging out and partying, but like, how does that initial... Because even hanging out, how do you know that he has these skills? How did you learn that he was an impressionist and he was a fan you wanted to hang with?
Yeah, immediately he started doing them. You know what I mean? And then you just like, oh my God,
popping
this guy's incredible.
Yeah.
So it's next. Oh, they're mad.
So it's also kind of funny that they pull it from the episode. The episode's pulled, but they still have the next episode that has the recap of
Yeah. That's crazy. So look, this one too is they got him down there, Jason Sensation, what's on, and King is talking to him and asking him to do all these impersonations. So let's go ahead and listen.
Woo! All right, great. Listen, you can do other people, right?
Yeah, I can do anybody.
Can you do Owen's brother, Bret the Hitman Hart?
Well, you know what? I am the best there is,
the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Who in the hell is that? Some mid-Carter?
That's good, but do Owen again, one more time.
That's right, I am an aardvark. Woo!
Listen, can you do the Undertaker?
Kane, I will bury you. Rest in peace.
All right, listen, look. We just got joined by the Heartbreak Kid. Can you do him?
The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Shawn and
Bottom line is,
smile.
if you want to step in the ring with Stone Cold Steve Austin, I'll dump you on your head and then whip your ass, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
That's terrific. But my favorite has got to be Owen Hart. Give me some more Owen Hart. It's the best.
I know I'm late, but my nose got here 10 minutes ago.
All right, Jason, I know you're here. You love the WWF. Obviously, we've talked about that several times.
Well, I am the biggest fan here in the World Wrestling Federation. This is a lifelong dream being fulfilled right here. To be here with these stars, and believe me, I'm here just all in good fun, you know, and I have the utmost respect for the superstars here in the World Wrestling Federation. They are the stars here. I'm just here for the show.
Well, good. Give me some more Owen Hart. Wait a minute. We've got to join. We need the nation is standing by, I believe, as a matter of fact. And, gentlemen, I'm sure the world would like to know your reaction to DX's parody last week.
What you need to do, JR, is know your role and shut your mouth. Triple H. The Rock is really flattered, but the fact of the matter is this, is there ain't nobody, and The Rock means nobody, that could ever be the people's champ if you smell what The Rock is cooking, jabroni. That's right, you smell what The Rock is cooking? Hey, silly, badass. So you want to be a pimp? Well, I'm going to show you, baby, that pimping ain't easy. Oh. X-Pac, you worried about my chest? You need to worry about my hands being around your scrawny little neck.
That was a great
See, Road Dogg Jesse James, you were running around screaming, oh, you didn't know? Well, I think you better recognize D'Lo Brown ain't the one to mess with.
And you, Jason Sensation, you think you're real funny, imitating me and making fun of me? Well, why don't I just come down there and slap the piss out of you, you little punk?
Well, I don't think we need to use that.
Come on! He talks tough. He's not gonna do it.
Oh, they're taunting and egging him on. Jason's looking a little scared.
Don't worry about it. Give me some more Owen Hart.
Well, you know, I wake up in the morning and I love the smell of coffee all the way in Brazil.
Did you say what Owen Hart just said?
If I should come out there and I should kick the crap out of that little pissant.
Where's he going? Come here.
Owen's making the move.
Owen's making his way down
I
there.
think we have done.
And we're going to get some contact right here.
Hey, I brought the nose.
No, you got the nose.
I brought the nose.
The jig is up.
Put the nose.
I brought the nose.
Wait a minute. There's Owen. Hey, come on, Owen.
And Owen just slaps him. This is great of going after King.
King, yeah.
He's a kid, Owen. He's a kid. Come on. Come on.
They're chanting HBK.
No, come. The sharpshooter. Owen Hart's got the sharpshooter on this kid.
It actually puts Shawn in a bad light, being out there and not making the save.
He's a 20-year-old kid. He's a fan. That's all he is. He's having some fun. He's 100. Wait a minute.
The nation doesn't give up, but here comes the rest of DX.
I was last. I knew they'd have everybody out by the time I got there.
The nation now have chosen.
But you're ready to celebrate up on that rope, dog.
I'm the first one up there. Last one of the ring, first one up there.
Over here tonight. You've got to believe the nation and DX are going to hook it up right here tonight live.
So it's interesting you brought up that the audience, like, that it becomes weird that Shawn didn't make the save right there. Interesting
Well,
point.
they started chanting HBK because he's right there. And the kid's getting beat up and he doesn't do anything. I think he had a back injury. I think he couldn't do anything.
Right.
But still, it kind of puts you in a predicament to be sitting there and, oh, I can't help you. I'm sorry.
Later in the show, Kane and Mankind defeated you and Billy for the tag belts thanks to D'Lo's interference, hitting the frog splash on you while wearing the chest protector.
While wearing the chest protector.
Let's rock it. Let's see it.
Those chest protectors will get you.
I mean, so they're offering
in the ring, and look at what we got around the ring. We got The Undertaker standing in one corner. We got Paul Bearer. We got
stylish left hands.
Owen Hart and The Rock up there.
Dog going after Kane.
I'm hitting everybody.
Oh, that one connected.
And Kane has yet to go down.
Most of mine did.
And now Billy Gunn in. Billy Gunn.
Pile drivers all over the place in the Attitude Era.
Billy killed a guy with a trident.
And the brawls continue. Famous Sir or Rocker Dropper.
He said, get up here.
I think, dog, you're supposed to hook the leg on a Russian leg sweep.
Yeah, that was not a Russian leg sweep. That's a Bulgarian.
Oh, right. Slightly different technique.
It's called a Bulgarian digit swift.
Oh, and here you go. Tombstone in position.
Oh. That might have killed me. I might be dead.
I bet you wish Kane used Manscaped ball deodorant for that.
He did. He does. I mean, he didn't have that kind, but it was the early form of Manscaped where he just took really good care of his burnt scrotum.
It's good.
Anyway.
The next week, D'Lo pins Triple H to win the European title after interference from The Rock. What? So D'Lo starts getting a push here. This is interesting for him because they start getting the Rock behind him and giving him some momentum.
Yep.
When you're working with all these people and titles are changing left and right, what are your feelings?
Look, I think this was the time, if you go back, when people's attention span started to get shorter. You know what I mean? It was, before that, people were a champion for years sometimes. And I think what started about this time in society, like I always mention the Jerry Springer stuff, it's just spur of the moment, craziness, antics, you know what I mean? And that's what Monday Night Raw and Nitro was giving them at the time. So, yeah, I got lost. Go ahead.
That's okay. I'll just throw it for now, just because we haven't heard it yet.
Yeah.
All right, we should mention that the house shows for most of July and August are usually the Outlaws versus any two Nation members, or sometimes a six-man with Triple H. Mm-hmm. Any memories from any of these house show matches with the Nation where you obviously have a little bit more time to tell a story and probably put some comedy in some of those matches?
Yeah, and of course we were still trying to be Babyfaces, but working exactly like heels.
Right.
But all I remember from that time really is how young and green Mark Henry was, and how he was literally the world's strongest man, and we're literally teaching him to wrestle while we're wrestling him. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of literally being manhandled, but not no malice, because there's no malice in Mark's heart. Mark's a good guy.
Yeah.
So he didn't mean to do anything, but he's the world's strongest man, and he's 400 pounds. You know what I mean? So I just remember getting beat up a lot by accident, if that makes sense.
How bad is the world's strongest slam with him coming down, or does he take a lot of that himself?
So look, now he takes great care of everybody. I just think then he was still feeling it out.
Yep,
he was still
too fresh.
He was a great athlete. Don't get me wrong. He was a great athlete, and he was exactly where he was supposed to be when he was supposed to be there. We just had to help him along a little bit. And some of those clotheslines and some of those shoulder tackles and some of those, and you just go like, holy mackerel! I don't think he realizes he's literally the world's strongest man. But again, that's what I remember. Always great matches, because he listened and he would work hard, and we all were kind of new at this anyway. So great when we had D'Lo in there. We worked with Rock and Mark Henry a few times too. So yeah, a good chemistry with all of them though. So it never mattered who the two were, you know.
At the Fully Loaded pay-per-view, Hunter and The Rock wrestled to a 30-minute draw in a best 2 out of 3 falls match with lots of DX and Nation interference. When you're on a pay-per-view and your role is just to do interference and not wrestle, do you make less money?
Yeah, you make less money, of course, but like, look, DX was on a roll then. T-shirts were selling, so there was income coming in for sure. But if Hunter wrestled on there and wrestled Rock for 30 minutes, him and Rock got paid. You know what I mean?
Right.
And those of us that just helped out got paid, just not as well. And so I think that's fair is fair. You know what I mean? If I was in there working for 30 minutes, I'd want more money than me, who just ran in and got bumped off the apron too. You know.
With the Outlaws having their own music, did you still pick up royalties on the DX theme, or does the theme kind of roll differently at that point?
Oh, no, we picked up stuff on that too, but you got to remember there's 6 of us now.
Yep.
And so that pie, it's still split 6 ways. However, it was a really big pie.
Do you like being in the role where you don't have to wrestle the match and the pressure's a little bit less and you just get to have fun?
Oh, yes. What you'll learn, if you haven't already in these 14 episodes, is that I am lazy bones McGillicuddy. And look, if I can get away with something, I will. If I never run when you can walk. Never walk when you can stand. Never stand when you can sit. And never sit when you can lay down. That's my mantra.
I like it. We still have more to talk about, but we've also got another new sponsor to talk about. And Dog, this one's real cool and something I think all of our listeners will enjoy. So since they always hear from me, I think we're going to let you take the MIC and tell them all about RECTEQ and their grills.
Time to tell you about RECTEQ, an amazing company that offers wood pellet grills fueled by all-natural hardwood pellets, along with other outdoor lifestyle products such as coolers, apparel, grill accessories, and more. Look, with grills ranging from $399 to $3,000, RECTEQ has grills for every lifestyle and every budget, with a key focus on flavor, convenience, and versatility. Their factory direct pricing eliminates the middleman, and all grills ship free. Plus, all RECTEQ pellet grills are made with high-quality stainless steel and are built to last a lifetime. The RT700 comes with a 40-pound pellet hopper, 702 square inches of cooking space, the PID Wi-Fi controller, and a 6-year bumper-to-bumper warranty. You can bake, smoke, sear, grill, and even dehydrate on the grill, all with the push of a button. And that's why those in the know choose RECTEQ. So it's time to toss that tasteless gas grill, messy charcoal grill, or even that overhyped brand name grill aside and join an elite wood pellet grilling family. By focusing on flavor, convenience, and versatility, RECTEQ sets the new standard in grilling. Visit RECTEQ.com. That's RECTEQ.com. Use the code BJames to get 5% off site-wide. That's 5% off their top-notch wood pellet grills, one-of-a-kind RECTEQ icer coolers, chef-tested rubs and sauces, accessories, merchandise, everything at 5% off. That's RECTEQ.com and use the code BGJames. Excuse me, it's not BG James. And use the code BJames.
Dog, I was telling my dad about RECTEQ, and he said to me, he was like, Rye, those wood pellet grills are very good. That's going to be a good one. They're very good, Ryan. They're very good.
The guy that delivered it literally said it was the 3rd one of the day, and they come on a freight truck. They came to my house on a freight truck, and some of the handles on the front, we just started putting it together. I actually did today. I actually didn't get it completed, but it has like handles or like horns. Like the RECTEQ bull has the horns and they're the handles. Super cool, super durable. Like it's high quality steel, and man, I can't wait to fire it up and check it out, because wood pellet grills is where it's at, and RECTEQ is who the people who know choose.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I always talk about eating plant-based, but don't think that I don't like to put stuff on the grill and get some smoky flavor, dehydrate some tofu.
Dehydrate stuff with RECTEQ, yeah. I got the RT 590. I know they got a flagship of the 700, but I got the 590. It's a Cadillac, man. I'm really loving it.
All right, let's get back to Degeneration of a Nation and the Nation of Degeneration, or the rivalry, or feud.
Inflation.
Oh,
we're back here again.
Shrinkflation. There's a big fatal 4-way tag title match that closes out the August 10th Raw from Omaha as Kane and Mankind regain the tag titles they just lost to Austin and Taker at Fully Loaded. You and Billy, Rock, and D'Lo are the other 2 teams in the match. It was specifically noted that you cannot pin your own partner to win the match because you and Billy did that several weeks earlier in a match against the LOD and DOA to keep the tag belts.
Oh, that was great. I tagged him in and laid down, and he pinned me. and we held on to the titles. That's the greatest thing ever. When we came up with that finish. Yeah, because we came up with that finish, and they went, well, no, you can't do that. And I was like, well, why couldn't we?
My favorite thing in the world is hearing you can't do that. And then the response, well, why the hell not? The glory of pro wrestling is you can pretty much do anything.
We can do anything we want to. That was a great finish. So they made it this time, you can't beat your own partner. You actually got to beat somebody else. And I was like, oh, well, then I'm screwed because I can't do that.
When you're in the ring with, let's face it, 4 of the biggest stars in wrestling at the time, with Austin Taker, Rock, Mankind, Kane being on the rise, and you're in the main event of what's such a crucial time in the Monday Night War, you gotta feel like you've made it and you're the significant player yourself as well, right?
Yeah. Well, look, as soon as we joined DX, we felt like we had made it. I feel like we felt like we had made it a little prior to that. Maybe like, okay, now we're finally doing something. But look, once we joined DX, we were there. Now we're in these main event matches on television with these guys, and so I know I'm rubbing elbows with the top talent. So if I didn't realize it then, I definitely realize it now. At the time, I don't think we talked about top guys, or I didn't. I didn't talk about who was a top guy and who was underneath and who. I just played my role, and it just so happened that my role was near the top of the card for a minute. You know what I mean? And that's, to me, I guess you can give me some credit for that. I guess I deserve a little credit for that, but not much, because if 20 other competitors got the same opportunities, they might have done the same thing with them that I did. So, you gotta, the cookie has to crumble exactly right for you to be really successful and a top guy, as they say in this industry.
Thinking back and looking back has to bring up some cool and maybe outrageous memories from this time, I would assume. But thinking about the nostalgia, we could put those memories, knowledge, and information to good use with the help of another new sponsor.
Another one?
Ultimate Wrestling Trivia. Are you a fan of professional wrestling?
Well, are you?
Of course you are. And that's why you're listening to this podcast. You didn't know? Whether you're a fan of wrestling companies today, or you were glued to your TV on Monday nights and your favorite wrestlers are no longer active, we have the perfect free mobile game for you on both Android's Google Play and Apple's App Store. It's called Ultimate Wrestling Trivia. Feel the flood of memories come rushing back as you test your knowledge on all things from the world of professional wrestling by playing Ultimate Wrestling Trivia. You're not alone in this quest, as they've enlisted the help of more than 30 of their more than famous friends to ask some of the questions and cheer you on. They'll celebrate when you answer a question correctly, or bust your chops when you get a question wrong.
You're dumber than a bucket of blonde hair.
This game has multiple former world champions, includes 6 Hall of Famers, such as Kevin Nash, Eric Bischoff, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas, Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner, and Jerry the King Lawler. We'll get to that guy, your guy, this guy in a minute. Download Ultimate Wrestling Trivia today and see where you stack up against the competition on the leaderboard. Search Ultimate Wrestling Trivia in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store, or go to ultimatewrestlingtrivia.com for more info. If you like trivia, then you'll love Ultimate Wrestling Trivia. The free mobile game with over 10,000 questions, more than 650 video questions, and over 30 wrestlers and legends, including the D-O-double-G himself. That's right, the Road Dogg. Find out.
You didn't know?
Well, we know that you're in the game now. Find out who knows more wrestling trivia between you and your friends when you all play and join the same faction. To download, just search Ultimate Wrestling Trivia in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store, or go to ultimatewrestlingtrivia.com for more info. You're just making moves, And showing up. Yeah, that's show up to that, play the game. Good stuff. I was going to transition right in, and I'm like, I got excited about that.
You did get excited. I'm excited about that ultimate trivia.
Wrestling trivia.
What's it called?
Ultimate Wrestling Trivia.
Yeah, I played that. And the great thing is like you get it right. Like you said, you get to interact with some wrestlers pop up and say, hey, good job. And if you don't, they pop up and bury you. So it was really fun to play. And it was also really fun to find out how much I did not know about wrestling.
I can't wait to hear you tell me something or insult me, maybe, if I get something wrong.
I will. I promise I will insult you.
All right, so you're just making moves and showing up everywhere. You're in the game. Now you're all right. All right, the next week on Raw was the big street fight we watched a couple of weeks back, and the feedback to our first watch along was really good, don't you think?
Yeah, it was great. And look, we talk about this off the air a lot, Ryan, you and I, is like, I when I'm driving, I like to listen to my podcasts, so I don't watch them. So the watch along was a strange concept to me.
Right.
But we got great feedback from it. So I was really impressed.
I think people just like to hear your perspective when it comes down to listening and watching a classic episode. It's not something you would think about.
Yeah. And it actually very cool. For me to think about that, like I would like to watch somebody who was, you know what I mean? I'd like to watch Billy do that, or Hunter, or X-Pac. You know what I mean? So I get the allure. I just didn't realize it. I'm smart enough to know I'm not smart enough. Feedback was awesome. Let's do another one.
There we go.
Let's get a sponsor on the next one.
Oh, that's not bad. Not bad.
What do you say?
So we move on to SummerSlam 98 from MSG, and to pretty much signal an end to the DX and Nation feud, Hunter defeated Rock in a classic ladder match to win the Intercontinental title. But Triple H was injured pretty soon after and had to vacate the title. Did you feel that hurt the momentum, or was that then an easy transition to fix and get out of and move forward from?
Well, look, it's never an easy transition, especially when you have the guy win the title and like, okay, now we've kind of christened this new guy that we're gonna utilize in a very serious way, and now he's off the shelf. You know, he's on the shelf.
Yep.
And so, look, it's never easy, but it is it's part of the nature of the beast, right? I gotta creatively think of something else to do, and so that's what they did. They vacated the title, and I don't remember exactly what they ended up doing with it, but I think of course it hurts momentum when DX is rolling and then Hunter beats The Rock as the kind of finale, and then he gets injured. Of course that it's a kick in the nads, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. It just is part of the nature of the beast, man.
So let's move on. There's a few more Outlaws vs. Nation, Rock and D'Lo house show matches in the weeks after SummerSlam, and then the Nation slowly disbands as The Rock begins his move onto megastardom. What were some of your favorite memories from the feud overall?
Yeah, look, I think it was just the camaraderie with those guys, and even though I was jealous of Rock, like I didn't. Well, you might have seen it in some of the physicality. I can't be honest with you and tell you wouldn't. But I just remember, like, it was a great time in our careers. Am I froze again?
We glossed full picture on that one. So let me ask you this question again. What are some of your favorite memories from this feud?
Look, I think the memories for me were just how we were all eight. I think 8. China was probably 9. All of us up and coming right then, like really moving up in the world. And so what was cool about it was we were all elevating each other. And out of that, even some individuals got elevated. And that's like what we talk about with The Rock and Hunter after that, kind of individually getting elevated even more than the rivalry elevated the 8 of us to begin with.
Were there any lows or down points in the rivalry and feud that you remember, or generally you guys rode a high and had fun the whole way through?
Yeah, it was fun. There was I don't remember any downside to it at all, because look, we were all young and hungry and working hard, and so we were working hard together, and we were working hard to help each other and to get ourselves over. So I mean, it was totally a team effort and a collaboration on all fronts. But I don't know. We had a good time. I don't think we had any negatives. I hit people hard with chairs and stuff. They hit me back. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff goes in one ear and out the other, kind of. And you go to the back and go, "Hey man, I got you with that one. I'm sorry." But that's not really a downside to me. That's just, oh, I caught you with something. Happens every night.
Was there anything more that could have been done with that feud, or you think you guys handled everything that needed to be, should have been, could have been, would have been, and everything?
Yeah, I feel like we did everything we needed to do. Look, it was chaotic. If you think about it, the weeks we just talked about, it was probably 2 months, maybe 3 months or something. A couple pay-per-views. We did everything we could do. We did 8-man bring anything to the rings. We did singles matches that were all run-ins, and so we had done about everything we could do between the 8 of us, from tag matches to singles matches to run-ins to brawls to hardcore matches. So yeah, it was time to move on. Now we had established these 2 strong factions. Now we could separate them and really broaden the spectrum of the storytelling and the talents that are on TV every week.
You brought up the professional jealousy towards The Rock at that point back then. Do you think this feud helped make Rock into the megastar he ended up being, or did you know he was you knew he was gonna be a star? Did you know he was gonna be the biggest movie star in the world?
No, of course not. I mean, you can't even fathom that.
No.
And I don't think maybe he did. Maybe he had a vision board and he did the whole deal and he saw that. I did not see that in him. You could see from that, look, with me too, with our promos that it just aired. I flubbed something. You could see him not feeling great about it. We were growing. And so he just continued to grow. And I think I digressed because of drug addiction and alcoholism. I think I went in a different direction. Not saying that I would be what he was without that. I'm just saying he continued to grow and get better and hone his craft. And look where he's at today.
Absolutely. Dog, we packed a whole lot of story in this episode, and we've got some listener and viewer questions. But before we get into those, let's take a minute to save with Conrad and protect our families with Goliath Life.
Psst. Who's going to take care of your family if something happens to you? What would they do without your income? If you don't have a plan, you need to go to GoliathLife.com. Get a quick quote for more than 20 carriers. You don't even have to leave the house. If you need a medical exam, they'll send somebody to your house or office. You're in total control. You pick the rates, you pick the payments, you pick the terms. You're in total control, but it gives you and your family peace of mind. What if something happens to your income? Hurry to GoliathLife.com. If you could change one thing about your home, what would it be? A new kitchen, a new master bath, maybe put in a pool? What if you could do it with no money out of pocket and cheaper monthly payments? SaveWithConrad.com can help, and you can even skip your next 2 house payments. NMLS number 65084, equal housing lender, SaveWithConrad.com.
We're back, and let's get to the fan questions, dog.
Okay.
First one's coming from Brad Stanton. And he asks, did you think the Nation was misunderstood by fans, be it based on race, power, and what was their intent?
Well, are we talking about the one with Farouk and, the lawyer and all that? If that's the iteration of the Nation we're talking about, I don't know. I liked it. I think there was something there. They just went a different direction with it. And I don't know if a sponsor said something. I don't know. We're just speculating now. Why did all of a sudden they change to a newer and younger leader of the Nation? And maybe it was just timing, you know what I mean? Or maybe somebody said something. I don't know. I actually dug it. I thought it was great. I love Jamie Dundee and Wolfie D. Yeah. The 2 white kids rapping down with them. And PG-13, I don't know. I love the whole package, to be quite honest with you.
Mitchell Barnett asks, Road Dogg, if the Nation were to have taken place post-2020, how big of an impact do you feel their stable could have made on the industry? How big of an impact do you feel they made during their time? And what do you believe their legacy is?
Wow. So there's a lot there. If they did it in 2022, I'll start there. So, yeah, I think they would be much more prominent today. I think you would get into some difficulty booking them because I think you need to book them strong, and I think you should. Look, I think the Nation, the legacy they leave is each individual legacy, but it's also The Rock came out of that. You know what I mean? Like you said a minute ago, Ryan, the biggest movie star in the world came out of this faction. So there's definitely a legacy left. But look, that's D-Lo, Mark Henry, all of the above. Mustafa, not Mustafa, what was his name? Kama, I'm sorry. Kama, like they were all individuals doing well. Kama went on to get over as the Godfather, which I think will be his legacy. But like, look, I think all of those stars came out of that faction. And so that's, to me, that the Nation produced 4 great individual stars and some great tag teams too.
Josh Fields asks, why do you think WWE seems to be hot and cold when it comes to putting people into factions, given all of the guys who had tremendous success either while being in or breaking out of a group? Why do we not see more of that model in today's times? Is it harder to book faction stories?
Yeah. Well, look, it's definitely harder to book faction stories, and you get into trouble booking that because if they're not against another faction, then they're against one guy, and does the whole faction go out there? And if they're a babyface, doesn't it look weird that there's 4 people standing around the ring while this guy wrestles? Like, it's tricky. And I'll tell you another thing that a lot of people don't think about is cost. You got to now fly 5 people, 4 people, and a valet, whatever, around the country for these live events. And so if you don't have each, like we did, each of us was in a story. Me and Billy would work with D-Lo and Mark Henry. Rock would work with Hunter. You know what I mean? Kid would work with D-Lo for the European title or whatever. And so we were all in matches, so it wasn't such a big deal to fly us all around. That's not the case anymore. Like, you may have a faction with one guy in a big story, and the other 2 guys are just there, and it just gets problematic from a booking standpoint and from a expense standpoint.
You brought up your opinion on this one, but Tony Flowers asks, were any members of DX or anyone backstage concerned about the type of heat the impersonations might get? Obviously a different time in society, but even back then it was edgy, to say the least.
Yeah, it was, but we didn't feel like it was. Like, none of the guys we were doing it against,
there was no disrespect.
It was no disrespect from us.
Right.
But again, I didn't realize at the time that I was being insensitive. I have learned a lot since then, as we all have, I think. And it's just what I look back on it and go, man, I wish I could get that one back, but I can't.
Adam Arpin has a good question. I like this one. If you had to take a member of the Nation and bring them into DX, who would have been the best fit? And on the flip, which member of DX would have worked in the Nation?
Well, I would have worked in the Nation. That's just an obvious. I would have been great in the Nation. And I actually think Rock would have been a good DX guy. You know what I mean? I think he would have been a good DX guy, and then you could have rolled out of that into him and Hunter fighting over leadership. You know what I mean? Or whatever.
Yambag Jones asks, who found Jason?
Wait. Whoa. Did you say Yambag Jones?
Yambag Jones.
Yambag, let me ask you this. Do you have the Manscaped materials? Because if you want your Yambag to be Yamalicious, you need to manscape those balls.
He said that very seductively.
Yeah. I was trying
Yambag, you're getting seduced by the
I was trying to
dog.
seduce Yambag. Is that anything like Dimebag? Is that a different guy?
Who
Go ahead
found
with
Jason
Yambag's
Sensation?
questions.
And what other amazing impersonations did he do? So I think we've gotten through a lot of that. So.
Yeah, look, he did most of them for you, but he did a lot better Stone Cold in the room at night when we were under the influence than he did on TV that day. But yeah, he was a talented kid. Still out there. I still communicate with him like via Twitter and stuff. I still holler at him every now and then.
Albert Albanese at Kid Justice says, we all knew at this point that Rock was destined for greatness, but what did everyone think of D'Lo Brown at this time? Was there ever a discussion to move him up further on the card? Always thought he could have been a bigger player.
Yeah. Look, I agree with you. I think he could have been a bigger player as well. I do think they gave him, because they had some really big players at the time, they put that European title on him, which was a title at the time. You know what I mean? Maybe the bottom title, but he was a champion. And so I do think they were doing something with him. It was just some of the people that were above him were really taking off. And of course, I'm talking about, Taker and Rock and Stone Cold, Hunter, and you know what I mean, Shawn Michaels. There was real guys that were upper echelon guys, and so I think they did use D'Lo well. I think he could have gone further. I just think there was not for oxygen that high up on the totem pole or the card, if you will.
At Duff Upside Your Head asks, did you feel that Owen Hart was a good fit for the Nation?
Yeah, I actually loved it. I thought it was such a bad fit that it was a good fit. You know what I mean? Like, I just thought it was like, what? But that's what I loved about it, is it's just chaos, and it's like, but he fit in perfect, and he was just part of the team. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I loved it. I thought it was a great fit.
This one comes from Mark Armstrong, maybe a cousin of yours.
Oh, maybe.
How crucial a role did the Nation play in getting DX over as Babyfaces, as DX had been heels before the feud?
Yeah.
So we talked about it.
There were. It was all of it. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be Babyfaces, and that's all there is to it. And you saw it transpire. We only watched like 2 weeks of television during this podcast, 2 separate weeks, and you saw us starting to be established, and without them, that doesn't happen. And so, yeah, thanks. I can go back in time and thank people for certain things, that the Road Warriors for putting the titles on us, giving us the titles, the DX for hiring us and grabbing us, creatively, and then these guys for really making us the Babyfaces that we didn't know we were going to be, and we didn't know we wanted to be. But yeah, that's all thanks to the Nation.
D.O. Double, that is another one.
Another
14.
one. Another one.
Another one.
So how many, let's talk about the sponsors real quick. RECTEQ wood pellet grills.
Yeah.
Chili Sleep.
Yeah.
Goliath.
Life
insurance.
Save with Conrad. Ultimate Wrestling
Trivia. And BlueChew.
Yeah. So speaking of
what
BlueChew,
a party we could have.
I mentioned earlier that I was driving and came up with the BlueChew jingle.
Oh, yes.
I think
please.
before we leave, we should give it a go. You ready for this one?
I'm not ready, but I'm going to go through it anyway.
If your packer isn't packing and you need some assistance, but you're feeling too embarrassed, so you stop with resistance, well, we got a deal for you that will help in this instance, that will get your packer pumped and packing with some persistence. Our show is here to help your horny, hungry, hardy hog. Hit a BlueChew.com, promo code DOG. Hit a BlueChew.com, promo code DOG.
It don't get no better than that.
It's so...
We sign off on that. That's how we get out of here. God bless you. God bless us, everyone.